The sun was just emerging over the horizon. Adaora was curled up on her bed. She was pale and exhausted. A bowl of leftover food was on her right-hand side, while a bucket was on the other side. Her night was so rough as she had no chance to a good sleep. At this point, she felt very dizzy. She couldn't get off the bed because she was positive that an attempt would make her fall. A loud knock on her door jolted her to reality. "Koi, koi, koi!" Adaora groaned in pain and shouted, "Oh, who is that again?" Chike, her husband, got in with 2 oranges. "I bought you some oranges, my baby." "Asam, this orange you cannot resist. It is a pure source of vitamin C. The taste is heavenly." Adaora said weakly, "Oh, just stop it already. It is too early for this your clueless advice. I practically did not close my eyes throughout the night. Please don't let me yell at you. Just leave me alone." Chike cut her short. But the internet says, before Chike could complete the sentence, Adaora suddenly grabbed the bucket, throwing up again. The internet does not know how this feels. Did you explain to the internet that no food had managed to go down the path of my throat? Did the internet tell you that you can take orange on an empty belly? Please, if you cannot help me to solve my problems, then don't add to it. Chike knew nothing on earth would make her accept the oranges, as she was already angry. So he returned them to the table. Later that day, their neighbor, Mama Nkechi, entered uninvited, holding a dish of delicious enchanting soup. The one Yoruba people call efinrin soup, and is popularly referred to as Adaora by the Hausas. The soup had lots of pepper and is generally believed to be highly medicinal. Mama Nkechi said without greeting, "Ada, I heard you don't carry belle again. Na the first stage, abi? Na so e dey do. But why I'm surprised is Ekene and Somto did not stress you like this. Why is this one different? Anyways, I know from experience that every pregnancy is not the same. So I brought you this soup to help you get relief from the pregnancy stress. I prepared it specially for you. I saw your husband this morning and he told me all what you've been going through. You cannot afford to miss it because it contains orishi. In fact, your special momo that you used to like is inside the soup." She noticed that Adaora was not responding. In order to convince her further, she added, "Trust me, my mother used them when I was born in 1967. I also used them when I was pregnant of my children. I've used them for my daughters, even my daughters-in-law. In fact, this soup has helped a lot of mothers who are going through this same problem. It's just a bowl of soup. A trial won't hurt you." Adaora smiling politely, "Thank you, Mama, but I have my antenatal drugs." Mama Nkechi quickly waved her hands. "That's Oyinbo medicine." She beat her chest to further prove to Adaora, "Believe me when I tell you, This will drive away your morning sickness, afternoon anger, even midnight demons. This is tested and trusted, complete herbal, no chemical, highly medicinal. She was still recounting the benefits of the soup when Adaora cut her short by throwing up again. A severe form of morning sickness is a routine, which left her throwing up close to 20 times a day. She lost weight rapidly and became dehydrated. Mama Nkechi said, "You see what I'm telling you? This soup will help you greatly." Because of the respect and trust Adaora had for Mama Nkechi, she grudgingly collected the bowl and tasted the soup. She thought to herself, after all, I have been taking my antenatal drugs with no improvement. If it will get me out of this misery, then it is worth trying. The enchanting soup was like a magic. She was able to stay without throwing up for close to 6 hours. Something that had never happened since the beginning of the pregnancy. Throughout that day, her nausea reduced greatly and she felt better, though not completely. She was very confused as to why the pregnancy would mess her up like that. She already had 2 children and none of them stressed her out. There is something different about this pregnancy, she said to herself. She promised herself to go to the hospital as soon as she gets stronger. 2 days later, Adaora got dressed and headed to the hospital. She adjusted her headscarf and stepped out of the keke, her hand gently resting on her round belly. The sun peeked through the morning clouds, warming the sidewalk outside the moms and kids hospital. Her family had built a relationship with the doctor, Dr. Zubi, the owner of the hospital. Due to years of patronage, they were no longer seen as patients but family members. Adaora had made this work twice before. Once for Ekene, her son who is now 6, and again for little Somto, a girl, a quiet 2-year-old shadow. But today felt different. A bit heavier, a bit more sacred, like never before. The third pregnancy wasn't just physically draining, it was emotionally and mentally overwhelming. It tested every limit of her strength, pushing her to the edge, making the first and second pregnancies felt like distant trials by comparison. Inside the waiting room hummed with quiet chatter, the occasional laughter of nurses, and the low murmur of an old television. Adaora walked up to the reception desk, her movements careful but very slow, her breath steady. The nurse smiled and handed her a clipboard. "Third baby?" she asked kindly, noticing the box Adaora ticked on the form. Adaora nodded, smiling shyly. "Yes, I guess I'm becoming an expert." The nurse chuckled. "Well, third time is the charm or the challenge." As Adaora sat, filling in her details, she felt the baby kicked softly. Her heart melted a little. Despite the exhaustion, the night stress, the morning sickness, the pains and the backaches, that was the moment she loved most. A quiet promise that someone new was coming. Soon, She was led into the doctor's office. The room smelled of antiseptic and reassurance. After the routine checks, the doctor placed the cold gel on her belly. The redeeming thump of a heartbeat filled the room. "There they are," he said, smiling, strong and steady. Amara's eye widened in disbelief. "What do you mean by they, doctor?" The doctor replied, more like reiterating his last words. "Yes, they. You are carrying a set of twins. That was the reason for the different symptoms." The doctor turned the screen so that she could see her fetuses. "What you are feeling is normal. Nausea, fatigue, mood swing. Your hormones are on a roller coaster. It is hard, but it won't last forever," Dr. Zubi encouraged her. After the session, the scan result was printed and given to her to submit to the nurse. She said politely but firmly, "Doctor, I would like to take the results home to show my husband." The doctor refused. He said, "The scan result is the property of the hospital, madam. We need to keep it in your folder." Adaora did not like what she heard, but she didn't want to spoil a joyful mood. The news of having a set of twins. So she obeyed without further complaint. Outside the hospital, as she stepped back into the sunlight, she held her antenatal card like a letter from the future. Her steps were slow, but her spirit was light. Something in her wanted to tell her husband on the phone, but she changed her mind. She would like to see the blissful expression on Chike's face while she breaks the news. Life was growing inside her again. This time, too, with each beat, it reminded her she was strong. When she got home, she shared the good news. The husband was very, very happy. He believed twins are double blessings. He told Adaora, "Having a set of twins is no common occurrence in my lineage." After a while, he requested to see the scan results. "The doctor won't let me have it," Adaora replied sharply. He said it was the property of the hospital. Chike got confused. "But we paid for it. If the hospital needed a copy, why didn't they print two?" He added, "But you brought the scan result of Ekene and Somto. Why is this any different?" She replied, "I don't know. I was also confused when he told me." Chike already furious. "I'll call him on the phone tomorrow morning. I need to collect that result." Before morning, Chike anger dissipated. He told Adaora, "Achalugo, don't worry. Leave that guy. I will give you more money so that you go for another scan." 2 months later, Adaora was at the hospital again to get another scan done. After the test, as usual, the doctor turned to her. "Madam, the babies are doing fine. They are kicking and their sex is male. Everything seemed normal and stable. Here is your test result. Take it to the nurses to file it." Adaora said with a steady voice, "Thank you, doctor. But can I have a copy of the scan results?" The doctor glanced up and said, "We don't usually give the results to patients. It is the property of the hospital. It needs to be in your folder." Adaora replied calmly but assertive, "Doctor, please print 2 copies. My husband requests a copy. More so, I got the scan results of my other children. Why is this one different? This time, she knew nothing would make her leave the hospital without the scan results. The doctor replied defensively, "That's the new protocol, madam. I understand that you got scan results in the past, but not anymore. Things have changed." "I understand. That's your process," said Adaora, "but I would like to have a copy. It is my body, and I have a right to my medical information." The doctor sighed. Madam, Madam Adaora, it is not about rights. It is about protocol. We don't want patients misinterpreting data. It is for your safety, you know. Adaora, firm but respectively. "And I appreciate that, doctor. But I am informed, and I've been through this before. I'm not asking for your interpretation. I am asking for access. Please, I beg you, print a copy for me. I am entitled to my own health records." Dr. Zubi looks at her with measuring eyes. "Even if I give it, what will you do with it? Google it?" Adaora said politely, "Maybe or maybe not, but I will give it to my husband. We will use it to simply keep track of my journey. The point is, the result is mine." Dr. Zubi stares, then slowly nods, and told her to take the paper to the nurse to keep it in her folder. Adaora realized the doctor won't budge. She stood up quietly and left the ultrasound room. On getting to the reception, she begged the nurse to permit her to quickly take a photocopy of the results so that she will return the original to her folder. At 38 weeks, the babies have refused to come. No contraction, no pains, no water bursting. She became worried, very worried. Chike, her husband, was also anxious but supportive. Adaora said to her husband, "It's been 39 weeks. 3 whole weeks of everyone asking, 'Anything yet?' And me saying, 'Still waiting.' Nnam, I am tired of waiting. Please, let's go and see the doctor." The following day, Chike took his wife to the hospital. Adaora was asked to lie on her back. The doctor pulled out a small notebook and fetal monitor. After a few minutes, the doctor broke the silence. "You know, babies don't always follow our schedules. Sometimes they wait for quiet. Sometimes they wait for courage. Even sometimes they wait for us to let go." Adaora interrupted. "Let go of what? I have surrendered everything. My sleep, my body, my dignity. I am so tired. I can't wait for them anymore." She was almost close to tears. Adaora breathed deeply. Attention is beginning to rise. Her husband asked in confusion, "So what are we going to do now, doctor?" The doctor replied, "We will monitor. We will wait. And if we need to, we will intervene. But definitely not this night." The doctor quickly added, "My wife is also heavily pregnant and will deliver very soon. I am not sure whose baby will come first." Chika laughed out loud. "Doctor, it's more like we planned it together." Dr. Zubi replied, "Yes, so." The cesarean section was booked for her in 3 days. Adaora looked forward to that date. She packed her bag in preparation to welcome her babies. Chike drove his wife to the hospital for the CS. Adaora begged the nurses to let her husband come into the labor room with her, but they disagreed. Inside the labor room, the nurses were supposed to inject Adaora in her lower back to numb the part of her belly where the baby will come out from. But instead, they injected her on the shoulder with substance that knocked her off so that she would not be awake throughout the session. Quickly, the babies were brought out and one of them was taken away, stolen by the doctor with the connivance of the nurses. The hospital corridor buzzed faintly with movement, but for Chike, time had slowed. He stood beside a worn plastic chair, eyes fixed on the swinging door of the labor ward. His shirt clung to his back from nervous sweat. Bible clutched in one hand, phone in the other. Calls from family already piling in. Suddenly, the door creaked open. The doctors, with tired eyes and a reassuring smile, stepped out, removing his gloves as he approached. "Oga, congratulations," the doctor said with a bright grin. "Your wife just delivered a baby boy." For a moment, just stared, mouth open. He queried, "Baby boy or baby boys?" The doctor quickly looked away, more like he was avoiding to look Chike in the eyes, but suddenly regained his composure and said, "Yes, we tried very hard, very, very hard, but God understands. Guy, hold yourself together and be a man. Your wife is fine, and if you need anything else, I will be in my office." Before Chike could react, the doctor walked away. He let out the tears hanging in his eyes, but he knew he needed to stay strong for the wife. Already his phone was ringing, his mother calling. As he picked, he broke the news. "Mama, we lost one of the babies." His mother shouted at the other end, "Jesus! Jesus! Jesus! How is Adaora doing? How is she?" Chike replied, "She's fine, Mama. Let me call you later." He ended the call and approached one of the nurses. "Please, can I see my wife?" he said with a voice of a defeated man. The nurse replied, "Yes, but you have to wait a little longer." Soon later, Adaora woke up. Chike was by her bedside, wearing a gloomy face. "Obim, are you okay? Where are my babies?" Adaora asked. The nurse, who was reading her blood pressure at that time, replied, "Madam, calm down. Your baby is fine, but we lost one of them. Sorry about that." At that moment, she couldn't shout. No cry, no drama. She was unmoving, her eyes fixed on the ceiling, heart pounding like a drum in her chest. Then she broke the silence. "What happened?" "The baby scattered," replied the nurse. "What do you mean scattered?" Adaora queried, with tears in her eyes. Even Chike was confused by the nurse's reply. After a moment, he spoke, his voice barely above a whisper. "I want to see him." The nurse hesitated. "Sir, are you sure?" Before Chike could say anything, the doctor walked in. The doctor's eyes met Chike's with calm seriousness. "Oga Chike," he began, voice steady but low, "there is a small issue." Chike stood slowly, confusion clouding his face. "Issue? Doctor, wetin happen?" The doctor took a breath. "The baby is alive, but he's having difficulty breathing. We suspect a complication. Maybe something with the lungs or the heart. We have done what we can here, but he needs urgent care at a specialist hospital in town. We have to refer him immediately." Chike's hands trembled. He opened his mouth, but no words came out. "You mean we need to carry him now?" he finally asked, voice cracking. "Yes, time is of essence," replied the doctor. "We will prepare the documents and ambulance." Chike looked towards the sky, through the hospital window, lips moving in silent prayer. He pulled out his phone with shaky hands, already thinking of whom to call. His brother? His pastor? Anyone who could help. Chike requested about the other baby. The doctor placed a hand on his shoulder. "Ignore the dead. Focus on the living. We don't want to lose the last one. Act fast. He needs you. He needs to be moved fast." The gravity of the moment sank in for Adaora. In that instant, joy had been overtaken by fear, but also determination. They were moved immediately. They spent another 3 weeks in the specialist hospital. A cry of one child echoed in the world. Soft, alive, needing her, but the silence of the other was louder and heavier. At first, she couldn't look at the survived child, not properly. Each time he stirred or whimpered, guilt pricked her heart. How could she smile at him, hold him, feed him, when his brother would never open his eyes? She drifted between tears and numb silence. When relatives visited, she forced small nods, but no words. Her husband, tired-eyed and grieving too, simply stayed beside her, sometimes holding the baby when she couldn't. But time and quiet grace began to shift the sorrow. The baby was named Chima. By the end of the 3rd week, the spark started to return to her eyes. The matron gently placed the baby in her arms and said, "This one needs you. Chima needs you more. You are stronger than what you think." Just to encourage Adaora, on the final morning, as she packed to leave, Adaora looked at her son, bright-eyed, soft-skinned, a miracle in motion. She kissed his forehead and whispered, "Your brother lives in you, and I will live for both of you." 3 weeks hadn't erased the pain, but it gave her space to feel, to mourn, to begin healing. The hospital that once felt like a tomb had now become a sanctuary, a place where sorrow and hope had sat side by side and somehow made peace. The sun was already hot by 9 a.m. Adaora strapped her baby tightly to her back. with a colorful Ankara wrapper and joined the queue at the local primary health center. It was immunization day. One of the busiest. Babies cried. Mothers fanned themselves with clinic cards. The nurses called out names from the register. Inside the small waiting hall, plastic chairs lined the walls. The familiar smell of antiseptic lingered in the air. Adaora found a seat and gently unwrapped her son to cradle him in her arms. As she rocked him slowly, back and forth, her eyes casually scanned the room until they landed on a woman sitting across the room with a baby on her lap. She blinked twice, turned her face away, and looked again. Jesus, she whispered, her heart thudding. The baby in the woman's arms looked just like Chima. Same soft cheeks, same little nose, same faint birthmark near the left ear. About the same age. Her breath caught. Eh? She muttered under her breath, shifting uncomfortably. She stared harder, her heart starting to race. The baby wore different clothes, but the resemblance was too strong to ignore. She glanced at the woman. She was younger, unfamiliar, and very wealthy. Adaora clutched her baby closer. Her mind flashed back to when Chima was born. The nurse's voice replayed in her head. Madam, calm down. Your baby is fine, but we lost one of them. Sorry about that. Then she remembered when the nurse said nonchalantly the baby had scattered. Could it be what I'm thinking? She stood up slowly, walked toward the other woman, and said, Sorry, my sister. Is your baby fine, no? How old is he? The woman hesitated at first, but answered softly, 3 months. Within her, she thought to herself, same as Chima. Adaora's voice trembled slightly. Is your husband a doctor? Yes, the other lady replied, her eyes darting away. A strange silence fell between them. Questions, doubts, and a mother's deepest fear swimming in the air. The nurse's voice interrupted, calling Adaora's name for a turn. But as she stood there, her mind was no longer on immunization. It was on the baby in that woman's arms. The mystery that had just cracked open. That night, she told her husband. At first, he dismissed it. Children resemble each other nah, I beg. Don't start wahala. But the thought refused to leave her head. A week later, Adaora returned to the Moms and Kids Hospital, waited outside, and quietly followed the doctor home. Then, she did the unthinkable. She confronted the doctor and his wife. She realized that the doctor was being stubborn. He was defensive. He was angry. Are you trying to say I stole your baby? At that point, the beast in Adaora erupted. I will shout. The whole world will hear me. The whole streets will gather. Either you give me my baby in peace or we conduct a DNA test. Madam, he said coldly, this your behavior is causing unnecessary embarrassment. And if you don't calm down, I'll be forced to involve the police. Oh yeah, call them. Adaora snapped, fire in her voice. Let them come. Neighbors! Neighbors, please come. Oh, mothers! Please come and help me. Where is my baby? Give me my baby. 30 minutes later, Two policemen arrived, but something felt off. They greeted the doctor respectively. Two respectively. One of them tried to pull Adaora to the side. "Madam, abeg calm down. Don't create trouble for yourself." Her heart sank. So they were not here for justice. They were there to silence her. But Adaora was not alone anymore. By then, residents had gathered, recording with their phones. Somebody whispered to her, "Don't give up. Don't shut up. Take this to the radio. Take it to social media. Tag VDM. Is the voice of the voiceless. The bloggers. Tag them all. Someone will listen, no matter how bad." And someone did. A young journalist picked up the story. Investigation was launched. DNA conducted. After much tension, the test confirmed what seemed impossible. The baby is 99.9999% Adaora's. The news spread like wildfire. Nurses were questioned. The hospital was shut down. The doctor's license was withdrawn. The doctor and his wife were prosecuted and jailed in the end. Her stolen twins was reunited with her, with the family. Adaora became the happiest woman on earth, and her husband too, the happiest man. This justice is served not just for Adaora, but for many other silent women like her. If you were in Adaora's shoes, how would you have handled the situation? Please drop your thoughts in the comment section, and don't forget to give me a thumbs up. I would like to inform everyone here that this is my very first video. It is the beginning of a dream. I would truly appreciate it if you could subscribe and join me on this journey. Thank you so much for your subscription. See you in my next video. Bye.